We'd like to call this meeting to order. It's a couple minutes after 10. We're actually apologize for being a few minutes late. It's 24th day of September 2019. This is Weber County Commission meeting held in the Weber County Chambers here. I'm Commissioner Scott Jenkins. This is Commissioner Gage Ford to my left, Commissioner Jim Harvey to my right, and we all welcome you here today. We'll start this morning with an invocation by Cortland Erickson and a Pledge of Allegiance by Gary Myers, and then our thought of the day is by Commissioner Frohr.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the freedoms we enjoy. We're grateful for the chance to participate in government. We're thankful for the trust that has been placed in the government by the people, and pray that the county commissioners will be able to uphold and maintain that trust, that thou wilt guide them in doing that, and help us all to remember whom we serve. And we pray for this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Commissioners, yesterday, as you well know, we started budget hearings. Gave us an opportunity to talk to a lot of our departments in this great county. And, you know, in the past, we've talked a lot about recreation opportunities. We have ability to go out and play in this great county, but I thought it was more important, especially based upon our conversations yesterday, to talk about work, which is where we spend a great deal of our time. And a wise person, it was my grandpa a long time ago, when I got out of graduate school and was looking to, what do I do for the rest of my life? And he said, well, whatever you do, make sure that you enjoy it more than you enjoy your playtime, because you're going to spend a lot more time at work than you do at play. So you better like what you do and how you do it. And I took that to heart. And because of that, other than the time that I spent in college working for the Forest Service, this is a little embarrassing. People said I've never really had a real job until I took this job on. And I would have to say this is a real job, as you well know. So I just wanted to, as we talked to those department heads yesterday, as we looked and we talked to the elected officials, looked at what hard work they do for the county, and the effort they put forth to make sure that the citizens of this state, or this county, excuse me, are treated in a fair manner and given the services that they deserve. It becomes apparent that we rely upon all the people that work for this county, that we don't get to touch, to talk to every day, but we rely upon them to make sure our message is communicated, that the quality of service that we want provided to the citizens. And I can tell you this, I feel very comfortable knowing that with our leadership in place, that our various elected official, our department heads, our managers are doing a great job of doing that. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all the employees of this county, because they're the people we rely upon to carry forth what we feel is important in services. And I really see that taking place with a very efficient model. We're doing this at a cost-effective basis, which is even better. So that's my thoughts after our meetings yesterday, Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Frohr. That was a wonderful thought. I absolutely agree with you. We've got wonderful employees, don't we? All right. First item up is our consent items. We have public comment. That's true. I skipped right over that. Public comment. We do have some public here. We have time for public comment. If there's those who've come to address the commission today, please step forward. We'd love to hear from you. Here's a nice lady right here.
Oh, here we go.
Coming forward. Please just state your name and where you live. We'd appreciate it.
Thank you for the compliment. Anyway, my name is Virginia Hernandez Reza, and I live at 2447 Jefferson Avenue, okay, Ogden. I just want to make 2 quick comments. One, I haven't been here since the elections, and I want to congratulate Commissioner Frohr for being elected. I did vote for you and had a lot of people vote for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And you're very well known in our community. We're 3 generations here, so we know the Frohrs, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And the other, I want to make a quick comment, is to Commissioner Harvey. We had a meeting sometime back then, and he was so kind and considerate to listen to me speak what the matter was. He knows what it is. But I do want to say, just through that conversation with him, got the word out. What we were concerned at the Weber County Library, the TV screen up there, the big screen. Well, we were concerned about that. I checked it, I asked, but through your encouragement and just saying to be patient, it went well, so everything went fine for our community. So I want to thank you, Commissioner Harvey. And that's what I need to say today.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Virginia.
Oh, and congratulate you too, Mr. Jenkins.
I was just going to say, I'm not feeling the love here, but
I did talk to you on the phone, and we voted for you.
thank you, Virginia. I feel better now. Oh, appreciate that. We love it when you guys come and address us and talk to us. So thank you very much. All right. Well, we'll go to item F. These are the consent items. First item is request for approval of warrants 2036 through 2050 and 442994 through 443153 in the amount of $424,830. Those are down substantially. Next is a request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $278,969. Third, there's a request for the minutes for September 19th, 2019. Fourth is to sell surplus real property. We've been given a list and gone through those. I don't know about you guys. Some of the items are actually pretty good items. There are some ATVs and a couple of trailers that we don't use anymore, and if we're not using them, we should get rid of them.
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Item 5 is request for approval of facility rental agreement between Weber County and Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. And number 6 is Weber County Tax Review Committee to approve the refund for recommendations to the following. And these are the different parcels that we've decided to refund footage or dollars to because we've accidentally overcharged them.
Right.
So, to that, Ricky, would you like to present to us?
You bet. This week, the county issued 13 purchase orders for the amount of $279,000. 59% of that amount, or $164,000, is for the jail, and that's to upgrade the camera system. And Mr. Horn is here and can speak to that when I'm done. 30%, or $83,000, is for the conference center, and that was primarily for food and concessions, but also for some website design services. And then 6%, or $16,000, is for the transfer station, and that is for gas service. As far as checks go, we issued 173 checks for $425,000. 15% of that amount, or $65,000, was for roads, and that's going towards purchasing road supplies. 13%, or $54,000, is for IT, and that's for telephone system equipment upgrade. 10%, $43,000, is for Golden Spike Event Center, and that was primarily for building improvements. 9%, we had 2 of them at 9%, or $39,000. Conference Center for food and services for the TCG conference, and the library to buy books and materials, as well as perform some building improvements and maintenance. And then lastly, 7%, or $31,000, was for the jail, and that went toward food, building maintenance, and supplies. And Jason Horn is as fast on his feet as he is on the bike, and he came down to talk to us, give us a little bit more detail about the camera system at the jail.
Jason, step forward, please. I apologize. You guys were in my office this morning, and I didn't ask you about that, so I apologize for interrupting you.
No apology necessary. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning. So the information that I received from the Sheriff's Office is that they currently have a system that's outdated. It runs on multiple systems, and getting those systems to align and work together is becoming almost impossible. So it's outdated. It fails frequently. Sounds like they budgeted for this, and so they've gone through the proper procedure as far as procuring. It'll come out of state contract. They've also worked a deal that they're going to receive about a $10,000 discount. Well, actually, you're seeing the dollar figure that represents that $10,000 discount because they'll pay it in full within 30 days. And I'm just looking through all of the different line items. They've done everything correctly.
Very good, and it is in their budget to do, huh?
Correct.
Commissioner Ford, this is your...
Yeah, I actually met with the sheriff and his staff last Friday, and this was one of the items they brought up. And, we'll be dealing with this afternoon as we talk to the sheriff, but there's various items in the sheriff building, in the county building out there that are getting to the age where they need to be replaced. So just something that we need to do if we're going to keep to maintain our systems, our infrastructure in place. So I support it.
Very good. Any questions?
No questions. I've seen that monitoring, personally been on site. I think all of us have, and I know the importance of being able to monitor through TV. It's a more efficient way to do business.
You know, we just replaced some cameras at my shop out there. I have to admit, the new ones compared to the old ones, the pixels they call it, that you have there, on these new ones, you can zoom in on stuff without it going blurry. Where under the old ones, the closer you got in, you got to the point where you couldn't see the detail because it would go blurry. And these new ones are better and don't do that. Plus, they're cheaper. So I understand you got to upgrade. You do. Yeah, I don't know any other way around this. Very good, Jason. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, with that in mind, I'm ready for a motion on F.
Motion to approve consent items.
Second.
A motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's been approved. Thank you, Jason. All right, item G1 is a request. These are under action items. Is a request for approval of first reading of an ordinance in Weber County for 4-year limit to property tax refunds. Cortland?
Do you prefer to have me at the podium or right here?
Yeah, right there is fine.
Okay.
That way they can actually all look at your face.
Okay. This proposed ordinance stems from confusion that arose over the last few years related to how far back the county can or should go for property tax refunds. A typical scenario would be if the county assessed property at a certain number of square feet and it turned out that that factual basis for the assessment was wrong. It's actually a different number of square feet, or the percentage that the basement is complete is different, or something like that. When an error like that is brought to the county's attention, it is routed through a tax review committee that's been established, and there was really no clarity, has been no clarity in the law as to how far back the county can or should go, but there is a state statute of limitations that governs situations like this, and it is a 4-year statute of limitations. And based on discussions that the Tax Review Committee has had and guidance from the County Commission in the past, there was a decision made to put this into ordinance to make it clear that, first of all, people have the responsibility to check. They're given a tax notice each year, told what their assessed value is. They have every opportunity to appeal that each year. They have a responsibility to check that. We all do as property owners. And the determination has been made over time that this is the way the county wants to go. And the proposal was made earlier this year to put this into ordinance so it would be codified instead of having to come up with explanations each time. We can just now point to an ordinance. It's before you. The one thing that is different that I would like to propose at this time from what was in the packet is in the new proposed section 2-11-7, there has been a proposed change from our assessor's office on subparagraph C, which would change it to say, the county will not change the taxable status of a parcel of property for a previous tax year unless a timely appeal is filed with the Board of Equalization. So that is issues such as primary residential status versus non-primary residential status. Right there on the tax notice, this would say those will not go back 4 years. That needs to be appealed in that tax year, or at the very latest, whatever the deadline is for the Board of Equalization appeals, which can sometimes be up to March 31st of the following year, but we won't go back any farther than that if this is adopted. So that's the proposal. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
The question I'd have, Cortland, I was sitting there thinking about, why the variation between a commercial and residential piece of property?
As far as paragraph C there, if there's anything about the taxable status of a commercial property, the same thing would apply. We didn't just say primary residential status. It's taxable status, which could include commercial, anything, anything related to the, tax exempt status for instance, a charity, and anything like that, anything related to taxable status.
All right, commissioners, questions?
No, I think this is, I'm glad to see you put C in, Cortland, because that really differentiates the difference between the taxpayer having the responsibility to verify the tax status, i.e. residential exemption or not, versus the county assessor making a discrepancy or making an error that then we're responsible for. So in my mind, it makes a clear distinction that we can tell the taxpayer when they come in with that issue, look, this was your responsibility, versus we made a mistake, so we will go back 4 years. So and it's great to put this into code. So I know that we've had a couple of cases in the past where people have wanted to go back a lot farther than that. So this is a good effort.
And one other thing I would note, if I may, from what I understand, and the assessor's office has looked into this, most counties don't even go back 4 years. So we are truly being more generous, from what I understand, than most other counties, if not all other counties are.
Commissioner Harvey?
Thank you, Cortland. My point, with the 29 counties that are in the state of Utah, if we have an error, it's that all other counties go back, I believe, a year, a couple, 2, we go back 4. So it's in the best interest of our local people, but we've also stay under state statute. We can't do a good job budgeting if we were to go back any further. It's just that this stretches us a little more, but in this day and age with the math and the software that we have, we can do this. It's the right thing for the taxpayer, but also is fiduciarily responsible for us to do it this way. So this, I think, commissioners, I'm in favor of this. Been involved with this for a long time. I'm really glad to see us taking, Cortland, I appreciate you doing this, but us taking action on it.
Very good. Thanks, Cortland. Well, that's about all that needs to be said. I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chair, that we approve item number 1 on our agenda, which is the first reading of the ordinance setting a 4-year term limit to the property tax refunds, also making the correction to section 2-11-7, item number C, pertaining to limits.
Very good.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that passes. G2, request for approval of first reading of an ordinance of the County of Weber governing the preparation, review, enactment, and publication of ordinances. Cortland, that's you again.
It is.
Okay,
Second
go
of
ahead.
3. This is a proposed revision to existing Title II, Chapter 8 of the County Code, which governs, as it says, the drafting and enactment of ordinances. So the current ordinance, the current code, has in place a process for going to the county commission with a proposal, going through the attorney's office, sending it to the clerk auditor's office for review, and so forth. It also includes a lot of responsibilities for the clerk auditor's office in preparing paper copies of ordinances. Over time, that has become, the paper copies have become somewhat less important as everything is stored online and very readily available to anybody who wants to see it and quickly updated. There was also, at some point, some concern that maybe a first reading and a second reading is not always required, whether it's by state law or because a proposed ordinance has already gone through a public hearing with a planning commission and received a lot of public feedback that way. There was also some, I guess, lack of following the ordinance as it was written, as far as getting a cover sheet and going through the right process. And there were times when an ordinance would be proposed before you and it hadn't gone through the right review process. This proposal would kind of reset things, clarify some areas that were maybe not clear in the previous ordinance. And one of the key things it does is it states that the county commission shall adopt a policy to govern the process. That policy will be more detailed than this ordinance, but that will allow for flexibility in the future if the policy needs to be adjusted a little bit. And we do have a draft policy that we are prepared, if this ordinance passes, to present to you within the next few weeks that would govern that. Hopefully streamline the process, make sure it goes through the right procedures, everybody reviews it who should review it, and make it simpler. That's the idea.
Great. Commissioners, any questions? Very simple.
Pretty simple. Motion to approve.
Motion
Second?
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Very good, that's approved. Item number 3 is request for approval for the first reading of an ordinance of the County of Weber governing grandma. That's you also, Cortland. Well,
Yes.
you've been a busy guy lately.
Yes, thank you. The grandma appeals process has suffered from some lack of clarity in our county code section governing those appeals, because it is a several step process, and there have been questions that have arisen as we've gone through some of the appeals that have been filed as to what the hearing process is. There's also been a situation where the Grandma Appeals Board has been unable to convene, or it's been at least questionable because of the unavailability of one of the members. So we proposed this ordinance to, again, fill in some of those gaps, clarify things, provide for alternate members of the Grandma Appeals Board to serve if one of the regular members is not available, and just, again, hopefully clarify the process. Any questions?
Commissioners, no questions? Yes, not. Thanks, Cortland.
You're welcome.
I'm open for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Did you say aye?
Aye. I did.
Very good. Item 4 is request for approval of contract between Weber County and Skillsoft Corporation to provide compliance, safety, effectiveness, web data training for Weber County employees. Carrie Southwick.
Good morning.
Morning.
And happy
Carrie.
National Voter Registration Day. Just for Ricky Hatch right there. So I am presenting a renewal contract with Skillsoft Percipio to continue our web-based training for employees. So they do all of our sexual harassment training, defensive driving training, anything for our new hires, plus our compliance that is yearly.
Very good. That's simple, huh?
Very simple.
Commissioners, any questions? Come on, we can't let her off this easy.
How about this question?
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
Can I, will you entertain a motion to
I
approve?
would be glad to.
A motion, so move.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, Carrie.
Thank you.
Pretty easy. Thank you. Item 5, request for approval of a $70,000 donation of impact fees to Weaver Pathways for the Pineview Loop Pathway. This is the Winter Grove to Old Snow Basin Road section. Mr. Wilkinson, how are you?
Doing well.
Good.
Morning,
Go ahead.
Commissioners. Thank you. So, Commissioners, WEBER Pathways is requesting an impact fee donation of $70,000. This is for engineering and construction-related expenses. You approved a new section of this same Winters Grove to Old Snow Basin Road pathway earlier this year. This cost comes from June of this year when we replaced a bridge and put some new asphalt on the trail that connects Huntsville town to Highway 39. So essentially what we're doing is helping WEBER Pathways cover some of their expenses with this $70,000. And they have donations that will cover the remainder of the cost overruns that they experienced. And that was due to some flooding and some other things that happened on this section. There was an MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding, signed on June 18th earlier this year, and that Memorandum of Understanding allows the county to donate to WEBER Pathways without approving a new agreement every time that we have to do it. So if the commission is okay with that donation, we already have the tool in place to move that forward.
So where are we getting this money from?
This money will come from the Ogden Valley Impact Fee Fund. There are plenty of dollars in that fund to cover this expense, and we actually have to use those dollars within a certain period of time, and we like to make sure that we do that so that we follow the state statute.
So the taxpayers up there are paying for this, and this is what it was designed for?
Yeah, so it's an impact fee, so when someone builds a home or impacts the county in some way through development, we collect an impact fee, and that's what these fees come from.
Very good. All right, Commissioners, any other questions? Gabe?
John, so just so I understand it, these impact fees in this particular case are dedicated for trails or
Correct.
other type of...
Yeah, we have several different funds, but
Right.
this particular fund is specifically for trails.
And just so I'm clarified, this is for reimbursement of costs for the trail that's already been built that connects to the highway.
Yes.
And do you know what the plans are from this point to connect it to Old Snow Basin Road?
Yes, so the $100,000 that you approved earlier this year is for engineering and the study that we need to make sure that that we have everything in place so we can start construction of that section. So the plan is to move forward quickly and connect it to Old Snow Basin Road.
Good. Well, I can tell you this, Commissioners, a lot of people, both local and out-of-state visitors, including friends from Davis County, make good utilization of these trails in Ogden Valley. So it's a good thing for Weber County.
I agree. So, you know, it's interesting. I'm getting ready to go do another hike, so I've been walking some of these trails lately. And so the other day, I walked from Lower 17th, down by the confluence of the Weber and the Ogden River, up to the old Rainbow Gardens, now the greenery, and back through all those trails. And we did it early in the morning, and man, it was interesting to see. We run across several people asleep down there that were getting up, and Ogden City had a policeman on one of the trails, and they were taking some people out, and it just kind of surprised me, all the people on that trail, both earlier and later in the day, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of activity on these trails. They're beautiful trails. My one daughter said to me, she says, you know, Dad, you don't even know this is here. It's down by the river, and it's quiet, and she said, I'm amazed how beautiful this is. And it's right in the middle of town. It's cool.
It's really cool.
Very good. I'm open for a
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Second, with the comment, I love to see the fact that Weber Pathways is a wonderful organization, that we're using public funds combined with private interest to do this project. It's a great partnership, and I think it's a good form that Weber County is participating like this, and so thank you.
You bet. Very good. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, it's approved. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. Next item is number 6, approval of contract by between Weber County and BHI Incorporated for the 12th Street Corridor, Segment 3, change order number 5, to cover gravel overage and landscaping. Gary Meyer.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So as we're wrapping up the phase of construction that, well, essentially has pretty much ended back in July, this is kind of a reconciliation of the books. We had a little bit more overage of the gravel for the embedment of the storm drain pipe that we installed out there along 12th Street. Additionally, when right-of-way was acquired from one of the residents, this portion of the project disrupted their front yard, and an agreement was made in the right-of-way negotiations that we would restore that once we essentially tore up the front of their yard and their driveway and their flowers and their retaining wall, that we would put it back. And that's what this change order is for.
Very good. We had a chance to sit down, most of us, and talk about this, so. Any other questions?
I love that we're keeping our promise.
Absolutely.
Enough to make a motion?
So move.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, what did you say? Okay, it's approved. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Item number 7, request for approval of contract binding between Weber County and SMGH Phase 3 Investor LLC for, anyway, to ensure the developer can construct and install monuments required by the county surveyor for the overlooks subdivision Phase 1 and 2.
Hi, Commissioners.
Steve, how are you?
Good. So what you have before you is 2 monument improvement agreements as part of the subdivisions. They're called overlook subdivisions, Phase 1 and Phase 2 at Powder Mountain. These agreements are to ensure the proper installation of monuments in survey monuments in these subdivisions.
It's good. So, we've got a bit of a drive right now to make sure our monuments, the section monuments and all the main ones are in good shape, and this is part of that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Very good. We had a presentation a couple of days ago on this.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it is. They're doing a good job. All right. I'm ready for a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Very good. Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's approved. Thanks, Steve. We appreciate that. Well, comments today. Either of you have comment? Would you like to take a minute? Take your time. We're well ahead of schedule.
No, I don't.
We got plenty of time.
But I'll just, I will say this for the public, and as you 2 commissioners know, and as Gage mentioned in his talk, we've started the public process of going through the budget. It's wonderful to go through the budget with 2 gentlemen and great staff, Ricky, Scott, staff who understand business and understand what it means to make budgets sustainable and to make sure that they're not just good today, but they're also good tomorrow. That's what sustainable means. And Weber County is in a wonderful place right now. Really a good spot. And I have more trust in the process than I've ever had before after 25 years where we are. And so that just speaks to my colleagues, and I wanted to publicly compliment them about how they're fiscally being very responsible with taxpayer funds. And we're open. You're welcome to look or view or attend or be a part of or see or come and vote or whatever you need to do on that part. It's been a wonderful process. So to you 2, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Christopher?
I'll just second that. Appreciate that, Commissioner. And I've always said since my days in the state capitol that our number 1 job as elected officials is to protect the taxpayer dollars. And we do that with our budgets. And we do that by making sure that our elected officials and their departments and all the departments that we manage are well run, what we call lean and mean. And I can tell you, again, when I'm opening remarks, that I feel very comfortable that we're there as a county. And but it's a process that's a necessary process, in my opinion, our number 1 job. And we're going to be spending some time over the next month to 2 months to make sure that we account for those dollars for the public. And I would, again, second what Commissioner Harvey said. The public's welcome to be there. If there's any questions or doubt for what we're doing, it's open meetings. I'd encourage you to be there, and you can sit with us as we go through those deliberations and make sure that the request for future tax dollars are well represented and well spent. So, and I appreciate your, it's good to have people that understand budgets and understand really where we're headed with this county to make sure that those dollars are directed in the right spot. And I feel very comfortable in making that assertion that we're there.
Thank you, Commissioner Farrar. I appreciate that too. It's good working with both of you, and I'm excited to be in the middle of this process. It's great. And Virginia, I want you to know you made my day today, so thank you. I'm going to leave this meeting with a smile. So thank you for coming. Very good. Well, with that, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.